Coming up next, we'll talk to the author of How Rich People Think to see how they make it happen. Maybe if you could get inside the mind of a millionaire, you could be one yourself. That's the idea behind a new book called How Rich People Think by Steve Siebold. And Steve is joining us this morning on Good Day Columbus from Atlanta. Great to see you, Steve.
Hey, good to see you, Andy.
Listen, your story is not all that unusual. Right after college, you were broke, like many of us were. But you decided to really focus on getting rich. And to do that, you interviewed rich people.
Yeah, went all over the world. I did one-on-one interviews with rich people and learned that they are living in a completely different world, especially in terms of thinking.
Because they perceive wealth in a different way than the middle class does.
Yeah, they look at it in terms of abundance and liberty and freedom and opportunity, where most of us are, like I was back then, just terrified of how am I going to pay my bills tomorrow.
Figuring out just how to hang on. And so your book, How Rich People Think, Steve, details 100 differences between the middle class ideology on money and what you call the world class or rich people.
Right.
Tell me what some of these big differences are in the way we think.
Well, one of the big things is Andy, is that the rich see money as their friend. They see it as their ally. The one thing that's going to help their dreams come true, or a lot of their dreams come true.
Okay.
Whereas the middle class, most of us are thinking about, again, how am I going to survive? How am I going to live paycheck to paycheck? And we're living in this fear-based consciousness. They're living in an abundance-based consciousness, a completely different way to think.
But how do you take your situation where you might be in credit card debt and broke or unemployed, and you really are not anywhere near where you should be, and turn this around mentally?
I think we got to get back to dreaming again, especially with this economy, and we've all been, afraid and what's going to happen and all that. We got to get back to this. The American way is to dream. I mean,
yeah.
That's the way it's always been. It's what built this country. We got to get back to that, and I think to do that, you've got to immerse yourself in the mindset, the thinking of millionaires, if you want to be a millionaire, and that's why I wrote the book.
Great quote in your book, Steve, called it says, money flows to great ideas like water. The secret is learning how to turn on the faucet, which I love. So we all need an idea.
Right, I think so. There's all these new problems to be solved with the new economy. So there's going to be more money made the next 5 years than there's probably has been in the past 20 years because of all these problems. So look for a problem, take your skill set, your talents, your interests, solve the problem, get rich. End of story.
Action steps, Steve. What should we do first as we start to turn around our way of thinking?
Decide what you want. Decide what you really want. I mean, if you could write your own ticket, live life on your terms, what would it look like? What would it feel like?
Okay.
And write it down.
All right.
And then learn the differences in thinking between the middle class, the average person, and the rich, because they think completely differently, as I said, and there's a lot of them.
What do you think is the biggest mistake folks in the middle class are making with the money they do have?
They listen to people who are broke. They listen to broke people. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but we've all grown up listening to parents, teachers, coaches, ministers, college professors, and most people don't have any money, so they don't understand how money actually flows. They understand the mechanics of money, the basics, but not how money is earned in big numbers.
So as we've been told our lives, be happy with what you have, you say nonsense.
No, don't be happy. That's not the American way. The American way is to go for it, to have high expectations, dream.
It's interesting. Steve Siebold, the author of How Rich People Think. More information on the website as well. We've linked it to our own at myfox28columbus.com. Click on News Links. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Lisa.